Hi, Kin 301-1 and 2 students. Hope you guys are doing well this week. Um, for today's class, we are going to focus on those 3 muscle groups that I talked about on our post. So that's going to be the triceps, the lats, and we're going to do a little core exercise. So like you saw, I'm not going to review again what's already on the content, but we are going to exercise first the tricep, okay? So there's one really easy way to do this. It's a body weight exercise, and that's going to be with push-ups. Some of you might be familiar with wider stance push-ups, but in swimming we do really narrow push-ups so that we actually activate into the tricep. So there's 2 ways that you could do this. One is it's going to depend on your strengths. One is that you can have your knees down. The other is that you'll have your feet up, and I'm going to show you the example for both ways, okay? So for a tricep push-up, especially if you're going to go on your knees, I always like to have a little extra cushion. Make sure that in this push-up, you're leaning your weight forward, okay? So we're gonna put our hands right underneath your shoulders. You wanna make sure that you have a nice narrow hand position, so that way we can really activate into the tricep, or else you're gonna get into the chest, into the shoulders, not so much such important areas for swimmers to work out. So when we're in this position, we wanna make sure that we don't have our weight leaning back like this. We wanna make sure we've put our weight going forward. So we really lean into the push-up. And when I lean, my feet can easily float off the floor. And now I'm getting a majority of my body weight into my push-up, okay? So as you go down, you keep those elbows going back. This is a little bit different than a traditional push-up, and you push all the way up. Again, activating into that triceps. So again, narrow hands, elbows go back like you're hugging your body, hover right off the floor, and then push yourself all the way back up. Now, the other option for these is if you're a little bit stronger, you might be able to put your feet or bring your knees up. So for that push-up, it looks exactly the same, except you're just going to be lifted into that high plank position. And again, your hands are nice and narrow so that as you drop down, those elbows go back. And again, you push yourself all the way up. We want to make sure that we're trying to keep that body nice and flat. We don't want that back to try and dip down low. So keep that head, like we talked about in planks, in a neutral position, and it'll really help. So I think it's really good time for us to do just 5, okay? I want you to do 5 on your own, either on your knees or with your feet up, okay? Let's do them all together. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go down and up, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, and down for 5. Good. And just like with our plank workout, you can start off with 5, take a couple seconds rest, 5 more, a couple seconds rest. If 5 is your max, then maybe the next day you do 6. So it's just really about slowly building into being able to do more. But again, narrow hands, elbows go back, that'll hit into that triceps. If you have some equipment at home, the other thing that you could do to activate the triceps is to do some tricep extensions or kickbacks. So that would be grabbing that weight and just doing a nice straight raise and drop, keeping that elbow up nice and high. We don't want it to come forward up high, and we just lift up and drop, okay? Hinging at the elbow. And then the same thing with the kickback. In the kickback, you're gonna kick the weight back, activate that tricep, and bring it forward, okay? And that's just optional if you have weights at home and you really wanna activate that muscle group a little bit more. The second muscle group that we're going to talk about is our lats, okay? Bigger, longer muscle, almost the biggest muscle in the back. And we've got a couple of body weight exercises that are pretty good for activating the lat. It's better if we can use some equipment, but sometimes we got to improvise. So for these exercises, all you're going to do, they're kind of in like Superman kind of crunches. So for the first one, you're going to have your hands back. Your palms could be up or they could be down. It's really up to you. And you're going to keep your feet flat on the floor. And all you're going to do is lift your chest up, squeezing those shoulder blades back, hold it up for a second, and then drop it all the way back down. So again, you just lift up, squeeze the shoulders, activate through the lat, and drop yourself back down. You'll feel this one in the lower back a little bit. So again, same thing. We want to start off nice and slow and build into it. I think we should try 10 altogether right now if you're willing to. So put your hands back, lay on your tummy, eyes looking down, and we're going to start. So we're going to lift up, 1, up, 2, up, 3, up, 4. Make sure to pinch those shoulders back, up, 5, up, 6, up, 7, up, 8, up, 9, and up for 10. The second option to doing that would be to be in a Superman position. So that would be putting your hands out in front. And for this one, it gets a little bit more complicated because you're going to lift up your hands and your legs at the same time. So, my video can't quite get it into the right camera angle, but your hands are going to be out, your legs are going to be back behind you, and you're just going to simply lift everything up, hold it for a second, and drop it straight back down again. And again, that's going to hit that same area in those lats and in the lower back. The other option that you have is if you have some equipment at home, you can do some lat pulses, okay? These seem really simple, but they actually work really well. If you've got one of those rubber bands, okay, sometimes you might use it around your legs to do squats, things like that. Mine is super tight, so it's really hard for me to show you how it flexes. But you can put your hands inside and pulse your arms out, and then even lifting it up overhead and pulsing your arms out. I know you can't really see that so much, but right overhead, pulsing those arms out nice and straight, and that's really going to activate into that lat as well. So those are our two big swimming muscles for our upper body, just a way for us to activate them when we can't be actually in the water swimming. So the last thing that I want to do with you guys is a short ab set. Okay, this is something you could repeat often by yourself. It's one of my favorite quick ab sets to do. I've been doing it with my swimmers for a really long time. I call it a 2-minute drill. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a bunch of different crunches, ab exercises. Everything's going to be on a count of 10. So it takes about 2 minutes. It really doesn't. It's a little bit less than that. But I'm just going to talk you through it real quick, and then we're going to run it through real quick. So what we do for that is we're going to lay on our back, okay? Find a nice comfy position. You're going to start with your feet straight up in the sky, okay? And they don't have to be perfectly straight, but we're trying to push through those heels. We're going to do 10 toe touches. Then we're going to bend our knees, okay? Kind of get at that 90-degree angle. And we're going to go 10 regular crunches. We're going to put our feet down on the ground. We'll go 10 more crunches. We're going to lay our legs totally straight in front of us. 10 more. And then this is where I'll usually put my hands under my lower back. And we're going to go 10 flutter kicks, 10 crisscrosses, and 10 dolphins, okay? The goal is to do this the whole time without stopping, but if you need to stop and take a break, stop and take a break, and then come back to it again, okay? All right, so we're going to start, and we're going to do it all together. So once you lay in flat on your back, legs up to the sky, hands up to reach to touch those toes. Try to keep your eyes up, okay, the whole time. Don't look down or else you're really doing a neck up instead of a crunch. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put them at half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feet on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Legs straight out, and I usually like to put my hands down in a streamlined position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I want you to put your hands underneath your back. If you're really strong, you got really tough abs, you can keep them all the way out to the side. That'll make you use a lot more of the core. All right, here we go. We're going to flutter kick, crisscross, and dolphin. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Crisscross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more dolphin kicks. 1, 2, 3. Make them nice and small. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Roll it over for me real quick. Give me a nice big breath in. Exhale and push up. Give yourself a little bit of a cobra stretch here. Good. Down one more time. Take a big breath in. Exhale and push yourself up. Good. And slowly release yourself down. All right, so keep doing those exercises. Keep doing those tricep push-ups, those lat extensions and chest raises. And try that 2-minute drill a couple more times today and keep repeating it. In the next couple weeks, we're going to start putting some of these workouts together and we're going to do some circuits together, my favorite kind of exercise. Hope you guys have a good day and I'll see you soon.